Welcome to the Red Pill Podcast, powered by AgencyX.net. Explore AI-driven creativity, groundbreaking innovations, and industry insights, all in one game-changing podcast. Enjoy.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine an internet where you don't really open a browser. You don't type in web addresses or, hunt for stuff by scrolling endlessly.
Right.
Instead, you just ask an AI, plain language, and boom, it gives you exactly what you need instantly. Maybe even makes it for you right then and there.
Yeah. That picture is, well, it's becoming more concrete, isn't it? It's part of a pretty radical vision for where the internet might be heading.
Definitely radical.
And it's a vision often associated with folks like Sam Altman, based on the projects he's involved with, the companies he's invested in.
Absolutely. And that's what we're doing today, the deep dive into that very vision. We're looking closely at sources, like one article in particular that pieces together this future internet, based on his public comments, his work with things like WorldCoin, investments in companies like Humane. Remember the AI pin?
Oh, yeah, Humane. So the goal today is what exactly?
Our mission really is to cut through the noise, pull out the key ideas from this potential future. We want to get a grip on the core parts, like how you'll actually use it, who owns what, the economics behind it, even how digital and physical worlds might blend.
And crucially, what it all means for you, the person using it.
Exactly. So let's jump right in. The foundational shift. It seems to be all about changing how we interface, how we talk to the internet.
Yeah.
Getting away from all the manual searching and clicking.
Right. The source calls it a conversational and agentic internet. The main idea is you interact with AI agents.
Agents.
Yeah, agents that don't just follow commands, they understand your intent. Think maybe like ChatGPT, which the source mentions, but, way more powerful and integrated.
So instead of me typing best travel deals Italy summer and getting a million links, I'd just say, find me a great, relaxing 2-week trip to Italy in July, focus on food, budget around X, and the AI just does it.
Precisely. Or it starts the process, asks clarifying questions, it acts as your proxy, your assistant. And this leads to the idea of personalized digital assistants. Everyone gets their own custom AI. It handles your stuff, booking that complex trip, managing your finances, maybe even, and this is wild, negotiating with other AIs for you.
Whoa, wait. AIs negotiating with other AIs on my behalf?
That's the concept floated. Imagine your AI haggling with an airline's AI for the best price.
Okay, that really does change the game. If my AI is doing all that interacting, maybe even negotiating, well, what happens to the websites we use now? Does this vision mean, like, the end of websites?
It could certainly mean a big decline for traditional websites as we know them. The source definitely suggests that.
How so?
Well, instead of you going to a static page someone built, the AI might just pull the specific info you need from various underlying sources and assemble it for you on demand, dynamically.
So the AI doesn't send me to the news site, it just gives me the news summary. Doesn't send me to the shop page, it brings the product details to me.
That's the core idea. Synthesized information pulled from wherever it lives. And if that's how you mainly get information or buy things, well, the source argues that blows up online discovery as we know it.
Right, the decline of SEO they mentioned.
Whoa.
Makes sense. Why bother optimizing a page for Google if an AI is just scraping the facts anyway?
Exactly. The AI curator, or whatever we call it, might prioritize accuracy, relevance, not clicks or keywords.
Okay. No more clickbait, maybe? That'd be nice.
We can hope. But it connects to another big point in the source, the massive rise of AI-generated content.
Yes. Explain that.
The source suggests, well, a lot of online content, text, video, code, images, you name it, could end up being made by AI.
Not just curated, but actually created by AI.
Created, yeah, and often tailored instantly just for you in that moment. This leads to what the source calls synthetic media ubiquity.
Meaning?
Meaning potentially widespread deepfakes, virtual influencers becoming common, maybe even news articles written entirely by AI. It really blurs the line between human and machine creation.
That sounds messy. Authenticity, truth? Who made what? Big questions there.
Huge questions. But interestingly, the source connects this AI-heavy future to something that sounds almost opposite: decentralization. User control.
How did that work? Seems contradictory.
Well, this is where Sam Altman's link to WorldCoin comes in, according to the source.
Okay.
The source talks about blockchain and identity. The idea is you could have a verified, secure, portable digital ID, maybe anchored by biometrics like the WorldCoin eye scan.
Right, the herb.
And that kind of ID could mean you rely less on, say, Google or Facebook to prove who you are online.
Okay, so instead of log in with Google, it's log in with my verified human ID. Less dependence on big tech platforms for basic identity.
That seems to be the angle. It gives you more control over your core digital identity, making it portable.
But hang on, is a system using biometric scans run by a company truly decentralized? Or is it just shifting the central point? The source seems focused more on breaking the current Google-Facebook grip.
That's a fair critique, and the source maybe emphasizes the outcome less platform lock-in more than, say, the purity of the decentralization method itself. It's perhaps a step towards it.
Okay.
And building on that idea of user control, the source brings up user-owned data. This is really interesting.
Tell me more. Owning my data sounds good.
The vision suggests that AI models might actually pay you for using your data to train themselves.
Wait, pay me?
Yeah. Imagine your personal AI assistant holds your data securely. Maybe you allow anonymized bits of it to help train other AIs, and you get compensated for that contribution.
Wow. Okay, that flips the current model completely on its head.
Right.
Right now, we give our data away for free services, which are paid for by ads targeting us using that data.
Exactly. This suggests a shift away from the ad model towards users being compensated for the value their data provides, a different kind of internet economy.
That is different. And the source also mentioned Altman's idea of universal basic compute. What's that about?
It's this idea that powerful AI processing capability, compute power, might not be something you primarily buy access to.
Like cloud credits or expensive hardware.
Right. Instead, it might be distributed more like a basic resource, almost like a utility you get access to.
So everyone gets a certain amount of AI horsepower just for being online.
That seems to be the general concept.
Yeah.
And the source points out this could be huge for lowering barriers. Imagine trying to start an AI company or a complex creative project now. You need serious resources.
True, compute costs are high.
With universal basic compute, maybe individuals could build things, start businesses, experiment with AI without needing that huge upfront investment. It could democratize access to AI tools.
Interesting. And for day-to-day use, how would things be paid for? The source mentioned microtransactions for AI services.
Yeah. So instead of, say, a monthly software subscription, you might pay tiny amounts for each specific thing the AI does for you.
Like paper query, paper-generated paragraph, paper task completed.
Exactly. Little micropayments, maybe via crypto or digital wallets, happening instantly. It fits that granular, on-demand nature of AI interaction. A usage-based economy.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly powerful. An AI that knows me, anticipates needs, does things for me,
Yeah.
hyper-personalized, but the privacy alarm bells are ringing pretty loudly here.
They should be. The source directly addresses this tension. Hyper-personalization versus privacy. It notes AI could potentially know you better than you do, making predictions that are eerily accurate.
Eerily accurate is right. If an AI manages my finances, my calendar, my communications, that's everything. That's an immense concentration of personal data.
It is, and the potential for misuse or surveillance is obviously significant. So what are the proposed safeguards?
What does the source say?
It mentions things like zero-trust architectures. Basically, systems where nothing is trusted by default. Every interaction needs verification, even internally. Strong encryption, obviously. And again, those decentralized systems, like the WorldCoin identity concept, are presented as part of the solution. The idea is maybe the AI processes your data, but in a way that's encrypted or distributed, so no single entity has the keys to your entire life.
Relies on that decentralized part working as intended, I suppose.
It does. It's a crucial piece.
Now, moving beyond just software and data, the source also talks about blending the physical and digital, getting away from just staring at our phones.
Yeah, exactly. This is where Altman's investment in Humane's AI pin and similar ideas come into play. The concept mentioned is AR glasses as the new browser.
So the interface isn't a handheld screen anymore.
Potentially not the primary one. Maybe it's something you wear glasses, a pin, or interact with through voice, gestures. Augmented reality overlays information onto the world around you. The internet becomes part of your environment, not a separate place you go to on a device.
Information and AI help just appearing when and where I need it in the real world.
That's the vision. And it extends even further, according to the source, with AI plus robotics.
Meaning AI controlling physical things.
Potentially, yes. The internet wouldn't just be for information. It could initiate and manage actions in the physical world.
Like, I don't just find a recipe. The AI orders the groceries via the delivery drone.
That's the kind of scenario the source implies. The AI acts as the brain connecting your digital request to a real-world outcome using automated systems, robotics, drones, whatever it might be.
Okay, this is painting a picture of an internet that is just fundamentally different. But like any huge shift, there have got to be major challenges, right? Controversies.
Oh, absolutely. The source highlights several big ones. First up, misinformation and control.
Yeah, if AI is generating so much content on the fly, how do you know it's true?
Exactly. Verifying truth, establishing authenticity, it becomes incredibly difficult. Who's responsible if an AI generates convincing but false or harmful information? It's a massive problem.
And then, despite all the talk about decentralization,
There's the opposite risk, power concentration. The source points out that the companies building the most powerful AI models, the biggest infrastructure, they could become incredibly dominant.
so we might just trade the current tech giants for a new set of AI giants, walled gardens 2.0.
That's a definite risk. A few providers could end up controlling the core AI capabilities everyone relies on.
And the third big concern mentioned,
Job disruption. This one always comes up with AI.
understandably.
Many jobs involving creativity, writing, analysis, even coding. If AI agents can do significant parts of those tasks, what happens to the human roles? The source suggests fundamental transformation, maybe even shrinking, of roles in fields like creative arts, law, journalism, programming.
Yeah, that's a societal impact we really need to grapple with.
For sure.
So, wrapping this up, if this vision we've been dissecting based on the source material comes true, we're looking at an internet that's AI native, agent-centric, maybe increasingly decentralized in some ways, like identity.
Right, but also one where the lines between human and machine creation, human and machine agency get incredibly blurry.
What's really striking is how much could change for you personally. Just the basics, getting information, making stuff, owning your data, interacting with the physical world, all potentially mediated through AI.
The source does paint a picture of potential benefits, like democratizing access to knowledge and powerful tools, making things easier, faster, more accessible.
But it also leaves us with these huge, almost existential questions, doesn't it? About truth, control, authenticity. What does it even mean to be human online when AI is everywhere, doing everything?
Absolutely. And the source essentially finishes by asking you, the listener, the user, seeing all this, the potential upsides and the significant risks, would you embrace this future? Or do the dangers seem too great? It's a really important question for all of us to think about.
It really is. What single thing stands out most to you from this potential future internet we've discussed today?
For me, maybe it's that idea of AIs negotiating with other AIs. It just highlights how much agency could shift away from direct human interaction, even for everyday things. It feels like a real tipping point. What about you?
I think for me, it's the tension between the promise of decentralization and user control versus the sheer power of the underlying AI models that could still lead to concentration. It feels like a technological tug-of-war with really high stakes. Leaves you wondering if we can truly build the decentralized utopia some envision, or if network effects and the power of advanced AI will inevitably lead back to centralization, just with new gatekeepers.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Red Pill Podcast. If you enjoyed diving deep into the future of AI and media, make sure to follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stay tuned. Bigger insights, bolder ideas, and game-changing discussions are coming your way. Sponsored by agencyx.net.